Welcome back to my channel today. We explore the value of specific coins, the top 6 most valuable U.S. Jefferson nickel coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 2000 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark and its current value in today's market. Stick around to find out if you have a hidden treasure. First, let's start with a quick overview of the 2000 Jefferson Nickel. This coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, while the reverse showcases the famous Monticello building, which has been a part of the design since 1938. So, what makes the 2000 Jefferson Nickel special? While the coin itself is pretty standard in design, the condition and mint mark are key factors when determining its value. Now, let's focus on the P mint mark. This means the coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is one of the main U.S. mint facilities. While P mint mark coins are often more common, that doesn't necessarily mean they aren't valuable. In fact, a 2000 Jefferson nickel in good condition can be worth more than you might think. When we say good condition, we're referring to coins that show some wear but still retain most of their original details. This includes clear features on Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building, with some of the details still visible. Currently, a 2000 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in good condition is typically valued at around 50 cents to $1. However, if the coin is in excellent or uncirculated condition, it could fetch a price upwards of $5 to $10. So, how do you tell if your 2000 Jefferson nickel is in good or excellent condition? You'll want to look for crisp edges, clear details on both sides, and minimal wear on the coin's surfaces. If the coin has a lot of scratches, discoloration, or fading, its value will be on the lower end of the spectrum. If you're thinking your nickel might be worth more, you could always have it graded by a professional. A higher grade coin can make a significant difference in its value. Before you go, remember, the value of any coin can fluctuate based on market demand and collector interest. So, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on current trends. Next up, the 1992 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark in extra fine condition. Stick around to find out what it's worth in today's market. Let's start with a bit of background. The Jefferson Nickel, first minted in 1938, is one of the most well-known U.S. coins. But today, we're zooming in on the 1992 nickel with a D mint mark. This particular coin might look ordinary to some, but it's quite special for collectors. You might be wondering, what does extra fine mean when it comes to coin grading? Well, extra fine coins are in excellent shape with only minimal wear. You'll still see a lot of detail in the design, especially on Jefferson's portrait and the steps of Monticello. There will be some light wear, but the overall look is sharp. Now, for the big question. What's the value of a 1992 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in extra fine condition? As of today, you can expect to find one of these coins ranging in value from about $1.50 to $3. While it's not an extraordinarily rare coin like some of the earlier Jefferson nickels, its value still holds due to its condition and the collector demand. If you find one in mint condition or with some unique characteristics, it could even go for more. So why is the 1992 D Jefferson nickel valuable, especially in extra fine condition? Well, the market for coins fluctuates, but collectors are always looking for coins with clean strikes, clear details, and minimal wear. Since not every 1992 D nickel survives in such good condition, this coin is highly sought after by collectors. If you're lucky enough to own a 1992 Jefferson nickel, here's how to check its value. Look for the mint mark, which is located right below the date. If it's a D mint mark, and your coin looks to be in extra fine condition, you've got a nice little find. So, there you have it. The 1992 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark in extra fine condition isn't just a regular nickel. It's a collectible with a nice value. While it's not worth hundreds of dollars, it's still a great find for any collector. Next up, the 1991 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark, particularly in the damage dot condition. Let's break it down and see why this coin could be worth a lot more than you think in today's market. So, what makes the 1991 Jefferson Nickel so special? Well, most people don't think of nickels when they think of valuable coins, but this one is an exception. The 1991 Jefferson Nickel, minted in Denver, that's where the D mint mark comes from, is pretty common in circulation. But there's a unique version of this coin that collectors are on the lookout for, the damage dot condition. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a damage dot? Well, a damage dot refers to a small, unusual mark or dot on the surface of the coin, usually found near the date or in the field of the design. This happens due to a variety of reasons, like errors during the minting process or sometimes damage after the coin leaves the mint. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1991 Jefferson Nickel in this rare damage dot condition? It's not just pocket change. Depending on the severity and location of the damage dot, and of course the coin's overall condition, you could see this nickel fetch anywhere between $50 to $500 in today's market. Of course, the value depends on several factors. Coins with clearer, more prominent damage dots and in better overall shape will command a higher price. But even a moderate example could still bring in a nice premium over the usual nickel value. Wondering how you can tell if your 1991 Jefferson Nickel is the one? Look closely at the area around the date and the design. If you spot a small dot or strange mark that doesn't belong there, you might have a valuable coin. Remember to inspect the coin carefully to ensure it's in good overall condition, too. So, there you have it, the 1991 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark in damage dot condition. While most of these coins aren't worth much, if you find one with that unique error, you could be holding on to a valuable collector's item. Always check your change. You never know what treasures might be hiding in your pocket. Next up, the 1986 Jefferson Nickel with a P mint mark, specifically in a rare and unique condition, damaged dot condition. So, what makes this coin so special, and why is it generating buzz in the coin collecting world? Let's find out. First, let's cover the basics. The Jefferson Nickel, first issued in 1938, has seen many variations over the years. The 1986 version is one of the regular coins minted for circulation. But what about the P mint mark? The P represents that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Now, typically, these coins are worth just 5 cents, or a bit more if you're talking about uncirculated or higher-grade examples. But here's where it gets interesting. In the case of the 1986 Jefferson Nickel, some have been discovered with what's known as a damaged dot condition. This means the coin has a noticeable dot or mark, typically somewhere on the design, that wasn't part of the original minting process. These dots can result from various factors: post-mint damage, an error during the striking process, or even just natural wear and tear that gives the coin its own unique appearance. Typically, a regular 1986 Jefferson Nickel in good condition is worth about 5 to 10 cents. However, the 1986 with a P mint mark and a damaged dot can be valued much higher. Depending on the severity and rarity of the damaged coins in this condition, are usually worth between $5 to $50. Some rare examples, especially those with unique characteristics, might fetch even more at auction or among collectors. If you think you've got one of these coins in your collection, it's important to have it properly assessed. A professional numismatist or a reputable coin dealer can help you identify the exact nature of the damage and estimate the value. Be sure to get your coin graded by a trusted service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the professional coin grading service, PCGS, to maximize its value and ensure you're getting a fair deal. Who would have thought that a damaged coin could become so valuable? If you have a 1986 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in damaged dot condition, it might be worth more than you think. Next up, the 2011 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark in what we would call very dirty condition. You might be surprised to learn that even coins in poor condition can hold surprising value in today's market. Now, normally, when you hear dirty condition for a coin, you might think that it would significantly lower its value. But in the world of numismatics, there are exceptions. Let's dive into why this 2011 nickel could still be worth something, even if it's not in pristine shape. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The 2011 Jefferson nickel features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. The D mint mark indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. While this nickel may look rough, with dirt, scratches, and wear, that doesn't mean it's completely worthless. In fact, some collectors might still be interested in a coin like this, especially if it has unique characteristics, or if it's part of a specific collection. Here's the kicker. While a typical 2011 Jefferson nickel in average condition may be worth only 5 to 10 cents, a very dirty coin, if it's from a rare die or has an unusual characteristic, could still fetch more money. Coins with the D mint mark are relatively common, but there are certain rare errors or varieties that could increase its value. For example, coins that are worn but still identifiable can sometimes be sold to collectors who are looking to complete specific sets. However, let's be real, the condition of this particular nickel will likely limit its market price. Today, in the market, a very dirty 2011 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark in average circulated condition is worth roughly 10 to 25 cents. It's not a rare find, but it's also not worthless, especially if you find one that is part of a collection. So, while the value of a very dirty 2011 Jefferson nickel might not be sky-high, it's still something you can keep an eye out for, especially if you're collecting nickels or other coins from this period. Even a coin in poor condition could hold a small bit of value, and who knows if you stumble upon a rare error, it could be worth more than you'd expect. Next up, 1971 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, and not just any condition, we're talking about one in extra dirty condition. Now, when most of us think about a coin's value, we're used to hearing about mint condition pieces, right? But today, we're exploring how a coin in less than ideal shape can still have some surprising worth. Let's get into it. The 1971 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark was produced in Denver, and, in general, isn't considered rare. However, even coins with a little wear and dirt can still surprise us when it comes to value. But how much is one worth today in extra dirty condition? Let's break it down. Typically, the 1971 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth just a few cents. But when you add the extra dirty element, meaning the coin has significant wear, dirt, or corrosion, its value isn't just dependent on rarity, but also on its unique character. Now, what's interesting here is that these extra dirty coins can sometimes fetch slightly higher prices, at auction or from collectors who value their unique worn look. A nickel in this condition, even though it's not mint, might go for around $1 to $3 on average. Yeah, it's not a ton of money, but hey, it's still more than face value. And don't forget, a coin's value can fluctuate based on market demand and collector interest. A particularly rare or unique extra dirty coin could sell for even more, especially if it has interesting characteristics like an unusual strike or rare error. If you're looking to sell or trade your 1971 Jefferson nickel, it's a good idea to check out online auction sites like eBay or consult with a coin dealer to get a current market estimate. But remember, condition plays a huge role here. So, while this coin isn't going to make you rich, it might still hold a bit of hidden value. So, there you have it. While a 1971 Jefferson nickel in extra dirty condition isn't exactly the stuff of coin legends, it's still a cool find. Keep your eyes peeled for these types of coins. You never know when something unusual might come your way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Happy collecting!